So we will start out with just if you guys could introduce yourselves and then talk about kind of how long you've been interested in photojournalism and what it was about the Daily Emerald specifically that attracted you.
Sure. You want to go
Go
first,
ahead.
Ryan? All right,
I
I'll go. Yeah, so I guess I went to University of Oregon because I loved sports photography that I just saw everything that was coming out of duck football and basketball and just everyone calling it Nike University. And as a high school student, I just thought that was really interesting. But ended up pursuing a career in sports and entertainment photography for about 6 years before just changing industries in the last year. Now I take on a little bit of freelance work, but I mostly work in advertising now.
And Ryan?
Sorry, were we supposed to say our names? Or...
Yeah,
Oh,
if you could, that'd be great.
oops.
Yeah. Let the people know
Okay.
who you are.
Should I start
Okay.
over? Did I say my name?
Yeah, I think so. I'll do something at the beginning.
So it was name and then what? Sorry.
And then how you found photojournalism and what it was about the Emerald that you found
Okay, got it.
enticing. Yeah, so that was a lot to throw
Okay.
at you guys. I apologize. It's like a 3-part question. Take it away, Ryan.
Okay. My name is Ryan Kang. It was similar to that of Taylor, where coming out of high school, I knew I wanted to do like some kind of sports journalism, sports photography, or more of a photojournalism. But unlike her, I didn't really do my research with the Emerald. The Emerald just kind of like ended up on my lap during one of our like initial introduction visits. Um, and I saw that, it was a student paper, and it was like a good opportunity for um, me to kind of, shoot the big events, football, basketball, all those main sports. So that was kind of the main motivation behind joining the Emerald. Was I knew that it would provide a lot of opportunities to shoot the sporting events. And um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, once I got moved into the dorms, I brought like my little portfolio of like actually large printed out prints of sports pictures I did in high school for like my high school class. It was like a big stack of photos. And I think the photo editor at the time, Alex McDougall, was like, what in the world is this kid doing? Bringing like full like printed stack instead of a website. Um, so I think at that time, when I first, like the fall of that first year, he told me that you know they had a full staff at that time, so I couldn't shoot much. But by like springtime, I was shooting pretty regularly. And then now since graduation from Oregon, I've been working at the NFL
Mhm.
as a
And
photographer, photo editor.
right. So for both of you, was sports always the primary interest? Is that like exclusively what you shot at the Emerald, or did you guys do any other events?
I mean,
Uh,
at the Emerald, we did like photojournalism, so it was sports and news.
Hmm.
But I think for both of us, it was like very sports driven. Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I learned to love a lot of the other stuff. I loved shooting for arts and culture. I loved the concerts, and I also just helping trying to come up with ideas for a cover
Hmm.
every week was a lot of fun. So I definitely just enjoyed the creative challenge as well.
Definitely. Ryan, quick question for you. Do you feel like shooting for a sports powerhouse like the University of Oregon kind of put your work on the map a little bit, as opposed to if you were shooting like for Lane
Mm,
Community College or something like that? Do you think that like kind of gave you a
I
bigger
don't think
platform?
I don't think I think the benefit of shooting for a big team on a big market like Oregon was that you had access to a lot of other photographers and contacts that were also there next to you.
Hmm.
So like when we were shooting football games, we were on the sidelines with people from like the Oregonian, Associated Press, Getty Images, sometimes Sports Illustrated would show up, And just being able to make those connections with those specific outlets was definitely a huge leg up, because if you go to like one of the smaller schools, for example, like you said, Lane Community College, you're not going to be able to make those friendships or those and like contacts that can help you later on in your career. Um, I mean, you'll have plenty of opportunities to shoot like awesome photos and shoot all the sporting events, and you can have an amazing portfolio. But I think the benefit of shooting at a big school on a big stage is um, all of those, other professional organizations and other professional photographers who can be vital in your career later on.
And what has the level of access been like going from the University of Oregon to the NFL? Because like how I would imagine it is the
Oh,
NFL. There's all sorts of clearances and stuff, and then
um, well, I will say that shooting for the NFL, specifically under the NFL Shield, I am very spoiled in that I get special access. So shoot, like I shot a few NFL games for the Associated Press at the beginning of my career after college, and access, I mean, is about the same. Like you can't really do much other than stand on the sidelines. But
mhm.
shooting for the NFL, I have special access to kind of walk where I please during the game and during pregame, which is, I mean, it's the best job in the world because of that special access. Like you get to be so creative with your photography, and nobody's, asking you to stand back. They see you with the specific vest and specific access. They're like, okay, we know you're here with the NFL. We know you're here shooting for the Shield. So go do your thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, Taylor, do you prefer the thrill of shooting events live, or do you enjoy the post-production aspect of it more?
Oh, I definitely love live events. That's where I've always thrived. I was with the Blackhawks for 4 seasons, and worked at Madison Square Garden for 2. And when I was at Madison Square Garden, it was like I was covering just everything for the building. So that was anything from concerts to like Knicks games to Rangers games to like new NYU graduations, like to conferences. Like there were a lot of different things, but I still treated everything from the same perspective of, just getting the setup, what is happening, and even like the breakdown, the difference sometimes shooting for like a building or a team is you're not just covering it, for news outlets, you're covering it for next year when they put the event on, like, how to set up again or break it down, or what the lighting looked like, or where the teams are entering from, maybe what worked, what didn't work. So it was definitely a fun perspective for sure.
I'm really glad you mentioned the Blackhawks because that's actually the perfect transition into my next question. Obviously, you have a lot of experience around the sport of hockey. I know you interned there for 7 months, ended up working full time. Very underrated sport, in my opinion. I love hockey. I love the feeling of like the ice, like hitting your face when you walk in the rink. Um, so I'm just curious, like, are there any nuances in the way that hockey photographers or just content creators in general approach their work compared to any other sports that you've covered?
I feel like the biggest difference is just like the literal access to the game. There's obviously like a huge glass pane between you and the game, and all you have is this like tiny hole you can shoot from, or you can shoot from above. You technically could shoot through the glass, but you get a bit of refraction and it's not going to be the cleanest image. So I think just like it's a bit of a creative challenge. Just, you're limited as to like what you can get.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm gonna open this up for both of you. I just if you guys could take me into your relationship a little more and the dynamic, because I know I reached out to Ryan originally, and Taylor, he referred to you as his partner in crime during your time at the Emerald. So what was that? Did you guys go out and shoot events together? Did Ryan shoot and then hand it off to you, Taylor, to edit?
I
And
mean,
then you guys
do
still,
we start at the very beginning?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
take us all the way back.
there's a funny story there. Um,
I don't even
do
know
you
if I
want to
know
know
this one.
the one with your camera
I don't know. You tell it. I don't remember.
at introduction?
I literally don't remember this.
You know the story. Coming out of high school, I was a very little cocky POS to keep this uh podcast clean.
Oh, I remember
But
this
I
now.
remember, yeah, I went up to because I had my camera on me. I thought I was the hottest shit coming out of high school, and I went up to Taylor, and she had the same camera as me. And for some reason, I felt the need to say, "Oh, is that your mom's camera with you?" Um,
Whoa.
yeah, yeah, it was a
I
really
totally forgot about
Respect.
bad
this.
move. Yeah. But quickly learned that she was a very talented photographer and just really good at what she does. So uh yeah, big
It
old bad way to introduce myself.
Well, clearly I don't hold it against you because I'm not kidding when I say I forgot that story until this moment. But no, like Ryan and I like just kept each other competitive. Like we both wanted to be the best so badly. Like I feel like if we didn't have each other at the Emerald, like I don't know, I feel like our work was better in college because we both were always like, oh my gosh, look at that shot Ryan got, or like maybe I got something he didn't get. And it was like we just always
Yeah.
wanted to like level
No,
up each
Yeah.
other.
yeah, definitely I agree with that. The competition definitely made each other better. And we also like wanted the same jobs, of course, when we were there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Taylor ended up going 2 for 2 for those jobs because we both wanted the Sports Illustrated internship. She got that. We both wanted the photo editor job. She got that.
But it
Uh,
worked out for you in the end because
it
you
worked.
were able
Yeah, it
to
did.
shoot more, way more. You got the AP job like junior year. And then like I just like getting into some of like the NFL stuff, but like I met with Ben Liebenberg and I was like, you need to hire this guy, Ryan Kang.
There
And
you go. A little
I was
alley oop.
like,
Yeah.
just a suggestion. Don't know if that's why Ryan got hired, but I'm just kidding.
Man, from using her mom's
That is.
camera to photo editor. Talk about rags to riches.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, question for you. Photojournalism, from what I understand, which isn't very much. I mean, I'm a podcaster, but it's a very competitive field. Um,
Mhm.
what did you learn at the Emerald that you feel helped separate you from the rest of the pack and give you the chances to shoot these big events like in the NFL?
I think just the Emerald providing the opportunity to shoot those big events. I give credit to like Oregon Athletics and the department when we were there. I mean, they were very gracious with having us cover all the events and just being able to be on that stage with everyone else. Was like I mean, like I was saying earlier, with being able to shoot next to people like Chris Peach at the Register Guard and Tom Boyd and Bruce Ely, who both used to work at the Oregonian. Um, I think I mean
I'm
all
aware
those
of.
guys.
Yeah,
Hmm?
Bruce Ely. He sorry to interrupt you. He photographs for the Portland Trailblazers now, I believe, doesn't he? I
Yeah,
recognize that name.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was during like our last year, he told me that he was leaving the Oregonian for the Blazers, and yeah, he now shoots as their staff photographer. But no,
Wow.
those guys are um like some of the goats when it comes to like Oregon photojournalism. Like their work from like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s is just phenomenal. The
Mhm.
Register Guard during its heyday was like touted as one of the best photojournalism newspapers in the entire country. They had a phenomenal staff. So like just like I was saying, just being able to get to talk with those guys and learn from them, I think is what separated and allowed Taylor and I to really succeed even further than what we had originally intended. I mean, we have pretty good mentors from that time.
Hmm. And you've obviously done a lot of freelance work. So what would you say are some of the benefits and some of the drawbacks of working in such an autonomous field?
What do you mean?
Just like making your own deadlines, like getting your own,
Oh, at
finding
the
your,
Emerald?
just in the field in general. But it can be both. Yeah.
I mean, being a freelancer is great. Like you get to set your own schedule, but you're also like jockeying for jobs all the time.
Hmm.
Um, like you said earlier, everyone's shooting now. Everyone likes to be a photographer. Um, but again, it comes down to relationships and how well you work with the people who hire you. Um, but I think the you can't, how do I say this? You have to be willing to really hustle. And I think that's something that I really admire about Taylor was Taylor's one of the hardest hustlers I knew in college. Like she really made those connections with a lot of uh DLP, director of photography, is a photographers, photo managers, whatever you want to call it. Um yeah, I mean, just seeing the way that she was able to network in college, I was just like, that how do you do that? Because I'm not like that much of a people person.
I
So
just love to talk, so
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I don't know if that answered your question or not, but
No, that was great. Taylor, back over to you. I know we were talking about this a little before we started, but you've recently transitioned from photojournalism into a more, you said advertising, kind of like a public
yes.
relationsy type role.
Yeah.
Um, how do the two compare going from photojournalism to that?
I just always felt like working in sports, working in photojournalism, you are just constantly, yeah, hustling, like Ryan said, wanting to be the best. You're so motivated to like problem solve, create the best work. You know, you're kind of your own boss in the way that you're always trying to meet new people, trying to get that next job, whatever that is. And so I felt like I was ready for a change. And so work I now work in like media in for an agency doing content strategy, working with like third party publishers, blah blah blah. But I just felt like I went into this new job and felt like I could do any job all of a sudden. A lot of jobs are just like problem solving, trying to be creative, still trying to like understand how my work fits into everyone else's, I think is really important. You're not just creating on your own, you're creating for other people, for clients. So I really feel like I was able to take like all the skills from photojournalism, working for a building, understanding where my work fits into everything else, and be able to apply it to this new job.
Absolutely. Well, we are getting about to our time limit, but before we let it go, I'm going to open it back up to both of you again and ask what's one piece of advice you guys would give to your younger selves just starting out at the Emerald?
oh,
That's a good question. I think for me, it would just be like approach every job assignment like it's the most important one like you've ever received, like whether it's, I don't know, covering a small club sport or covering like the Ducks at a championship game, or a a smaller arts and culture piece versus the cover. Like every single job, you are meeting new people, you are possibly meeting someone who might get you your next work. And so just making sure that like you just approach everything with like the same amount of excitement. Probably would have been my advice starting out small when all I wanted to do was shoot football.
Ryan?
I think I have two pieces of advice from my younger self. First one being, don't take everything so personally. Not every job is made for you. Not every uh missed opportunity or job that you didn't get, uh it's not the end of the world. There's always going to be more work. There's always going to be other job positions open. um you know, I think it was Billy Quach on Twitter like revealed his whole spreadsheet of like teams that he applied for. And sorry, Billy Quach is like a really good videographer who does work for the NFL. But anyways, he has like a whole spreadsheet of like hundreds of jobs he applied to, only got a few. But anyways, what I'm saying is, um, like, take things in stride. Like if you didn't get a job, it's not a big deal. Um, like learn from it, move on, um, make that missed opportunity become a strength. And I think the second part is, just be kind. Like Taylor was saying, you're always fighting for a job, and you're always trying to impress who you're working for, your client, your boss, whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to work with somebody who isn't enjoyable to be working with. Nobody wants to work with a jerk. Nobody wants to work with a, you know, a-hole, pretty much. So just be kind in what you're doing, because the photo world is a very small world. Everybody knows everybody. So if you're someone who rubs someone the wrong way, or if you say something wrong, or if you you know, do something that's really bad, like, it gets around quick, and you can find yourself out of work very, very fast. Um, yeah, everyone knows everyone, and yeah, just be a kind person.
All right. Well, there you have it. Ryan, Taylor, it was so nice to meet you guys.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet
coming on the podcast, and hope to uh, keep in touch. Maybe have you guys back on later.
Absolutely.
you.
Thanks for
For
having
sure.
us.
For having us.